and on mixlr.com/wakeupcall DT. Proud to be here with you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and I hope you're having yourselves a fantastic morning this morning, giving all you can to the day. So I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're staying safe and staying well, and I hope things are going well for you here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. We're all about inspiring, uplifting, and moving you in a positive direction. So if there's a way that we can help you do that, we're going to do that. I mean, that's how it goes with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We're all about seeing people excel and seeing positivity and seeing people move forward. So we thank you so much for being here and hanging out with us where sports meets that thing called life. And I hope you're having a fantastic morning this morning and truly making the most out of your day. So I hope you're having a great day. If you're not having a great day, we're going to make it better. If you're having a great day, we're going to continue that on for you, hopefully. So welcome here to the show. It is the first TGIF show of Wake. Actually, I should say, no, it is. It's the first. It's hard to believe, but yeah, no, it's crazy. I have to remind myself it's not 2021. I'm writing down like 2021 on stuff still, and that's always the question, right? Is how long do we write the wrong year when we step into the new year? And some of us, because I just did it again this morning, but some of us, some of us can move forward right away, and then other people, I remember in school I would do it. I would just write down the wrong year, and I mean, to the best of my ability, I would just be like, okay, you know what? I think it's this year. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll find out together. So, it's one of those things that's just kind of funny that, you try to move forward into the new year, but you obviously have your connection to the old year, and the thought of, can it really be a new year? You just kind of write it. There was one time where I wrote Toronto instead of my last name. I remember that. It was on a Spanish test. I wrote Daniel Toronto because, Toronto's my favorite team. It's not that far off from my name. So, but I did spell my name right on my SATs. I do know that. So that's a good thing. So with that being said, welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. I hope you're having a tremendous morning this morning, like I said before, and I'm so happy to have you here on the show. We have a fantastic show set up for you on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora from inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios. Cafe Kubal here with you on 3501 James Street, as well as 401 South Salina Street in Syracuse, inside of Galisanos Children's Hospital in downtown Syracuse, and on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at their Sweetheart location, Sweetheart Corners in North Syracuse. Right there, they have a drive-through and indoor dining for you as well. Indoor, go in and hang out and get some work done, or go on a date, or invite mom or dad to grab a cup of coffee. Great place to go. Awesome, awesome experience. And you can grab a bag of coffee and grab another one for somebody you love. I did exactly that, and I'll be taking those with me for some Christmas and Hanukkah gifts with some people I didn't get to see during the holidays that I'll be able to see this weekend. So I'm excited about that. And I thank Cafe Kubal for providing the gifts for me to do that. They had great gift ideas, and so I took full advantage of it, went out there and spent some money locally and made sure that we take care of my coffee lovers around the country and obviously here in our community. So thank you for that. And they're also on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, where Rob Drummond and I will be on January 18th to talk about Syracuse football and local athletes and all of the things we've been talking about for years and banging the drum about. We'll continue the conversation and give our thoughts on Syracuse moving forward and this community moving forward, as well as those kids in our community that Rob believes truly have an opportunity to make it at that next level, and just what his take is on them. So we're always going to support the kids no matter what, and I'm excited to do that with Rob Drummond. And we'll be doing that from Cafe Kubal in Manlius on January 18th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So with that being said, a lot of awesome stuff. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. I don't have to tell you, but I will. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory is the place to go to get your popcorn ready, and you can do that anywhere in the country by simply going to Ma and Pa's Popcorn.com. That's Ma and Pa's Popcorn.com. If you go there, you'll be able to order whatever flavor you would like of their vast array of flavor opportunities. You can order any of those by going to maandpauspopcorn.com. So make sure that you do that and get yourself over there today. So I definitely appreciate you getting over to maandpauspopcorn.com and ordering from any one of the 50 states. And, of course, by ordering here in our community. I appreciate that so very much as well. And you can go and see them on site at 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. And so make sure that you go out there and see them today. So inside of maandpauspopcorn.com's What's Poppin', we have a full and jam-packed show today. We have our 3 signature segments that are with us every single Friday, which I appreciate so very much. And so those conversations that we get to have within the Annoying Moment of the Week, always excited to do that. The Annoying Moment of the Week will start things off in just a second, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. Then we'll hop into Lead, Learn, Evolve, Adlib, and Deliver is what the acronym stands for. A positive faith-based segment, as this show is a positive faith-based show. And we will be featuring Juanita Ward, my co-host, of course, and she'll be joining me on video today, which I'm very excited about. So you won't just hear her voice, you'll get to see her face, and we get to spend some time with Miss Juanita Ward as we will be discussing the topic of controlling the controllables. And this topic is going to go to a lot of different places, very uplifting, and Juanita is just incredible. So you don't want to miss a second of that segment coming up around 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And then from there, at a little bit after that, it may be a little bit after 10 a.m. this morning, because I know we're going to have a substantial conversation with Juanita about controlling the controllables. But when we get to hour number 2, we'll have the top dog of the week announced, the top dog of the week, the first top dog of 2022. Excited about that. And so we'll announce who that is, proudly presented by K9 Kamp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding. And then we'll round out the show, as we always do on Fridays, by featuring Marywood University in a segment called Pacer Pride. And the Director of Athletics, Pat Murphy, will be joining me to speak on where the Pacers are heading in the new year. So looking forward, facing forward, something that Juanita and I are going to discuss. And that will also be the topic that will round out today's show, facing forward and where Marywood is heading. So a lot of great stuff. It's all connected here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. A good morning to Alan. Greg, I hope your surgery went well, and I hope everybody is doing well here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We're always hoping and praying the best for each and every single one of you. So I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're staying safe, and I hope that things get better in your life that maybe aren't that great right now. So hopefully things are good, but we all have something that may be on our minds, so hopefully everything will be all right, and I'm definitely hoping the best for you. So with that being said, we're going to hop into the Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt on 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. It is what happy tastes like. And I had an opportunity to spend some time with Jay Cartini over with Carvel DeWitt. Had some time to spend with him yesterday, and I truly appreciate Jay, as always, that we get to spend a lot of time together, and we get to do a lot together. And I've definitely built a relationship over a decade now of Carvel DeWitt being with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and being the proud presenter of the Annoying Moment of the Week. So big shout out to Jay and the team over at Carvel DeWitt. We appreciate you so much. Don't let the cold weather fool you. Doesn't matter what the season is. Carvel has that same amazing flavor all year round, and they're there for you on 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. This is the Annoying Moment of the Week.
Dan Tortora proudly brings you... Is that for real? Are you kidding me? The Annoying Moment of the Week. I'm really honest. I don't know how to respond to this. Presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It's what happy tastes like.
You have to be that crazy.
I guess so.
The Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. I appreciate you so much for being a part of the broadcast and a part of the Annoying Moment of the Week. So, the Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt for this week. And it kind of leads into what we're talking about with controlling the controllables, is the Annoying Moment of the Week. Why waste your time on people And what I should say, why waste your time on what people are saying about you? Why waste your time on what people are saying about you? If you know who you are, then know who you are. It's hard to hear people, I'm not saying it's easy. It's hard to hear people say bad things about you, right? It's hard to hear people disrespect your name or have somebody come up to you and go, hey, such and such said this about you, such and such told me this about you. But the reality of it all is if you know who you are, then know who you are. My annoying moment of the week is that we in society have forgotten how to be kind. Not all of us, but some of us have forgotten how to be kind. And what I've seen with this pandemic that frustrates me is that we're in a place right now where, you know, like I was trying to walk around somebody and help my mom get somewhere, and the person was standing there and they're kind of like looking at me, and then I said, oh, excuse me, and then they were just looked at my mom and they're like, thank you. And it was almost like I didn't do the right thing. I was trying to get out of my mom's way, I was trying to get out of this person's way, I was trying to help. But it seems like we're on edge, right? We're on edge. Because we don't know what's going to happen next. We don't know what's going on with our job. We don't know how many people are going to show up to work today. We don't know this. We don't know that. And so people are getting frustrated, right? There's unrest. And what I would say to that unrest is that we need to find our peace again. We need to find, in my opinion, we have to find our faith again. Now, some of you that listen are Catholic, Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu, and everything else. Everything around the corner, right? There's so many different faiths and whatnot. And I understand that. I understand that. So I know that we come from different backgrounds. I understand that. And so my question to you is, what are we going to do to move forward together? Whatever our background is, whatever we're doing. My annoying moment of the week is that people just don't seem kind at times anymore. So what can we do about that? What can we do about a lack of kindness in our society? See, manipulation is a real thing. It's a real thing. And unfortunately, with manipulation, we live in a world where people are trying to seek control. And with people trying to seek control, they're going to abuse privilege. They're going to do whatever they can. Right? People will do whatever they can to control. They might tell you what you want to hear. They might give you what you want and say, okay, I'm going to do this for you, and I'm going to do that for you, and I'm going to do this for you, and it's going to be okay. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we need to understand that our society doesn't work if we're not together. Our society doesn't work if we don't work. Nothing is free. There is no such thing as free money. Somebody's paying for it. There is no such thing as running a company that needs help with no help. I can't fathom being capable to work and staying at home. I can't fathom being capable to work and staying home. I can't. Because if you're capable to work, you should be working. There are people that can't work that would love to work. There are people whose bodies just aren't in a place where they can go to work, and it's debilitating for them. It's debilitating for them. I'm so tired of hearing our businesses, our good sound, incredible businesses and business people telling me, Dan, I don't know if I'm going to have enough people today. Dan, I don't know if they're going to be able to work today. Dan, I don't know how I'm going to get by today because my workers won't work. They're staying at home. This is not a political thing. This is not a religious thing. This is a do you care about other people thing. We don't all have great bosses. So I would suggest that that boss becomes better, realizes their wrongs and rights their path. And I would suggest that if they don't, you get a job somewhere else. But staying at home when we're capable, staying at home when we can, staying at home and just collecting a paycheck, I could never do that. I could never do that. I couldn't do it. Because to me, then I wouldn't be doing anything to earn it. I wouldn't be doing anything to earn it. And so for me, we have to do better. We have to do better. We have to. You know, it's my annoying moment of the week because I just feel like we've forgotten. I feel like we are not as nice to each other anymore. And it breaks my heart to have to see us not be that kind to each other anymore. We don't want to work. We don't want to handle adversity. We live in a society where if something gets hard, we just leave. Right? Something doesn't work out. Now, granted, I've been through a divorce myself. I was in a situation where it was a very bad situation that was not healthy or good for me. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about when somebody's in a really unhealthy situation at work or at home. I'm talking about when things get hard, right? When you love the person, when you allegedly love the person that you're with and money gets tight and you go and cheat. Or you don't feel like you're getting attention, so you go and cheat. Or you don't stick up for your spouse. Or, you know, when COVID happens, this, that, and the other, you don't take care of each other. We live in a society where we're told, hey, if you're married to someone and you know you get in your 40s, 50s, 60s, and you're both getting old, and you want something new, then break up with who you're with and go find somebody younger. Go find somebody new. Go find somebody different. Trade your spouse in like a car. We live in a society where we're told you don't have to work. You don't have to try. We're going to give a trophy to 16th place. We're going to honor you for losing the game. We live in a society that thinks that if you get a C or an A, we shouldn't grade papers anymore because it offends children. We're heading toward a world where 1 + 1 does not have to equal 2. It can equal whatever we want. 1 + 1 can equal 5. It can equal 18. It can equal a butterfly. We're living in a society where it's becoming okay to tell somebody that every answer to basic questions is correct. And how far are we willing to go before we realize that it's all about control? It's all about control. That's all it is. It's control. And I wish that we could see past it. I wish that we could see beyond it. I wish that we could get over it, because it breaks my heart that this control has taken over as vastly as it has, as greatly as it has, as dominantly as it has. I'm not here to tell people what to do. I'm just here to say, why quit? Why quit on your dreams? Why quit on your relationships? When times get, I'm not saying when somebody like hurts you in a bad way, stay with them. I'm not saying that. I'm saying when times get hard, when life gets difficult, why run? There are so many good people that are at their wits' end right now because their employees don't want to work because they're making money at home. They're at their wits' end right now because COVID's put a squeeze on everything, and maybe they found out that their spouse isn't really that loyal or that caring. I grew up with the notion that you pay your dues, right? You do the best you can, and that if you want to succeed, you have to roll with the punches. We live in a world now that doesn't want any punches. They don't want anything. They just want to wake up, be handed money, given success, and be able to play video games and talk on the phone all day. That's not society the way that I think it was built to be. If you go to the movie theater and you want somebody to serve you, guess what? Someone's got to go to work for that. You want somebody to sell you a car? Guess what? Someone's got to go to work for that. I told you, it's like the garbage pail approach. I don't have to put my garbage out because my neighbor's going to put my garbage out. And then that neighbor thinks that, and then that neighbor thinks that, and then none of the garbage goes out, and then the whole neighborhood stinks. If you think somebody else can go to work, I'm going to stay home, ha ha ha, I get free money. Ha ha ha, I don't have to try. Ha ha ha, mom and dad, I don't have to do anything. If everybody thought that way, then nobody would plow our roads, nobody would pave our roads, nobody would teach our children, nobody would protect our streets, nobody would be working in the grocery store so that you could get groceries. If we live in a world where people just go, hey, I don't have to do anything, I can just stay at home, I don't have to be responsible. If everybody did that, then nobody would win. If everybody did that, then society would stop. Why put it on the brink of collapse? I wake up every single day feeling that I have a purpose to speak love, to speak joy, to speak community, to speak humility, to speak honesty, to speak comedy, to help you get through your day. Life is not meant to be coasted through. You don't learn anything. You don't learn anything. And so my annoying moment of the week is the fact that I feel like we've kind of lost loving each other. We've kind of lost being good to each other. We've kind of lost seeking to understand each other. We've kind of lost the desire to do better. And if we've lost that, then what do we ever seek to truly gain? We need to do better. We need to do better. With that being said, we're going to take a step aside for a fast break on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. When we come back, Juanita will be joining me inside of the Cafe Kubal studios for Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver. Carvel DeWitt, fantastic people, bringing you a fantastic product all throughout the year, no matter what the season is. Head over to Carvel DeWitt today and make sure that you have an opportunity to put a smile on your face, because it is what happy tastes like. So head out to Carvel DeWitt today, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. When we spin back around, Juanita will join us for Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver right after this. Proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Cafe Cabal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafecabal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Cabal needs. Cafe Cabal, coffee for the soul.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora from inside of Cafe Cabal Studios. You're hanging out with us on a TGIF. I grew up on that as a kid. Thank God it's Friday. I'm thankful for every day and so thankful for Fridays as we have LEAD, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver, an acronym I created back in December of 2019, went out to my sister Juanita and said, I have this idea for a faith-based segment where we can utilize this acronym to teach people how to learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver while we learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver ourselves. Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay jumped onto it. Thanks to Jim Sikowski and the entire team there. And so we're here for you on Facebook.com/WakeUpCallDT, YouTube.com/WakeUpCallDT, Facebook.com/LiveNowDT, MixLR.com/WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.com inside of LEAD with my sis, Juanita Ward, who has been a mentor to so many, as well as a student athlete, a professional athlete, someone who has risen up the ranks and done so many different things in her lives. The chapters read so well when we look at who she was growing up, who she's worked to be, and then the student athlete world of it, the professional athlete, coaching, mentoring, being an author, being a motivational speaker, working in worship. There are so many different avenues that Juanita has touched upon in a very short time on this earth. And I feel like, as she knows, I'm sure she would say this to you, she's just getting started. So with that being said, we get started here on LEAD. Juanita, thank you for all you've done and to the many hats you've worn for one purpose, which is to serve the Lord and to try and help others. Welcome.
Hey, Dan, man, thank you so much for having me on the show. Gosh, what great kind words, man. I mean, truly, I am humbled by those kind words, man. You are awesome within yourself. And I'm so grateful that God's favor is upon you. And I'm so thankful that you're my brother. I absolutely love you. I absolutely love your mom. And, you know, I am so appreciative to be here because you know what? This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I mean, what else do we have to lose? It's a beautiful day. Doesn't matter if it's cloudy. Doesn't matter if it's raining. Doesn't matter if it's snowing. The reason why it's an awesome day is because you're breathing. You have breath in your body. You woke up today. And so make this day count. So Dan, thank you so much for having me on the show, man. I'm super excited.
Yeah, and I'm happy to have you here too. And I'm happy for what we've been able to do with this segment. You know, this acronym lead I created back in December of 2019, brought it to you, said, Juanita, you're the person that I wanted to be a part of this. You're the person I want to co-host with me on this because you have such a strong faith and you have such, you're unafraid, unapologetic to share that. And God means more to you than anything else. And so for me, I said, if I'm going to do this segment, I want to have somebody on it. I want to have someone that, you know, I don't have to train to care about God. I don't have to train to really go out there and spread the good word. And it just made perfect sense to ask you. And like I said, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay and Jim Sikowski, the owner-operator of both, who has such an incredible and strong faith himself, that we were able to all come together and create this, which has been an avenue that God used us through. He gave me the idea of December 2019. I remember where I was sitting, and to have this idea and then to see what happened to the world within the next couple months right after that, God was like, hey, I need you to help them learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver by talking to them about me. I had no idea what he was doing when he gave me the idea. It felt good. It felt right. And it was right on time, just like the good Lord always is.
Man, I'm telling you, he never fails us. He never, ever, ever fails us. When we think that something is like, what? Are you serious? You want me to start this in the middle of what? You want me to do this in the middle of what? And it's like, you know what? Wait a minute. Whose timing is better? Is our timing better or is God's timing better? And I just like to believe, man, that God's timing is so much greater. Every single time I try to put myself in the mix of it, I jack it up, man. I really, really jack it up. But here's the thing. I've learned to do the most important thing. I've learned to trust. I've learned to have joy. I've learned to just simply believe in what I cannot see because I have so much faith in that. And I believe that now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And so by you creating this platform for so many people to be encouraged, to be empowered, to be motivated, to be uplifted is the best thing that I would say since sliced bread, man, right? Like, so, who doesn't want to be pumped up? Who doesn't want to be encouraged? Who doesn't want to be motivated and, to get empowered? Who don't want that? Everybody is seeking something and everybody is seeking an opportunity. I just believe this. If we can start with ourselves, if we can start to pump words into ourselves, we would start to create that atmosphere that we want. We would start to create the things that we want. So thank you so much for starting this show. Thank you so much for being obedient and listening to your spirit and saying, you know what? I hear what you're saying, God. I'm definitely going to do it. I may have trembling knees. I may be shaking, man. But you know what? I trust you because you're the big guy and you know what's about to happen before it happens. So then thank you for starting this show, man, because it's been nothing but credible. The rapport from this show has been absolutely superb. I mean, you're not just in New York. You're not just in, Texas or Florida or whatever the case may be. You're in Mississippi. You're in Alabama. You're in California. You're over in Israel. You're over in Ukraine. You're all over because so many people are watching the show. And just because of your yes, man, you're traveling the whole entire world doing something that you absolutely love to do. So I appreciate you, man.
Well, and I couldn't do it without you. You bring life into this. You've taught me so much through this, and I can't tell you the countless times I've come onto the show to talk about something, to come up with a topic, and you've said something either about the topic or you've gone somewhere else with it and you've expanded it. I can't tell you how many times I sat back and said, gosh, I needed to hear that today. Like, God, I needed that today. I needed that to breathe through me. And so I know that for me, you have brought so much into my life and you've helped me so much. And what I love about what we do is, the incredible power of what you bring from your spirit into mine is so real and it's so genuine. And we don't, think about this beforehand. We just talk what we're feeling in the moment.
Right.
And so that's what people need to know. Like, this is just a genuinely real off the cuff conversation on what we feel in the moment. And
that's right.
And the beautiful thing about it is it's right in the middle of this, sports centric show. And I always say, Wake Up Call's tagline has always been where sports meets life. And what I mean by that is I take sports and use it as a vehicle to bring people God and faith and comedy and humility and love and community and just so many empathy and equality and generosity. It's sports. I'm using it as a vehicle to really bring us all together. And the thing that I love is that God works through me because I welcome that and I want that in my life. And what I love so much is that at 9:30, I mean, all throughout the show all week long, but of course at 9:30, it's like, here's a sports show. Uh-oh, they're talking about God. Uh-oh. So like and you're not going to find that anywhere else like this. And so, when somebody would say, are you afraid to do it? No. What I would be afraid to do is to have my life end and for God to say, you not only were given a voice by me, but your voice was your livelihood. Your voice was your craft. And you didn't talk about me? I do not want to have that conversation. I want him to be going down the line going, duck, duck, duck. I know you talk about me, Dan. And then I want him to move on. So we're here today to speak on controlling the controllables, which is such a hard thing to do. It's such a difficult thing to do. And what I found in my life personally is that when people are doing bad things to people are hurting people, I want to control that, not control the person, but I want to stop that from happening. I want to stop the bombings in Israel. I want to stop COVID. I want to stop people from cheating and from lying and from stealing. And what you realize, at least in my life, is that 99.9% of my stress comes from that which I cannot control. And so if I understood that and said, hey, I may not like it, I can do everything I can to work against that with love and with God and goodness. But if I let go of what I can't control, here's the irony. Whether or not I let go of it, I'm not controlling it. So to say I'm holding on to it, I'm throwing reins around something that I'm never going to catch. So the irony of controlling the controllables is if you realize you can't control anything but yourself, and you give up control, you're not really giving up control because you never had it in the first place of those other things.
You know what, Dan, that's a great point. So I tend to think of it like this, right? Control what you can control and what you can't control, let it go. Things that we cannot control, we should not dwell on those things. What can we control? And that's something that you have to ask yourself. What can you control? You cannot control somebody's actions. You cannot control what someone say. You cannot control how they're going to think. You cannot control what type of mood they're going to be in and so forth. But what can you control? You can control your mood. You can control what you do. You can control how you speak and how you respond and how you say things and how you're going to act towards things. Those are the things that you can control. You can control your emotions. You can control your joy. If you want to have joy. Matter of fact, you can control who calls your phone, right? You can control those things because they don't pay your bill, you do. And it's so important because what happens? So do we allow other people to control us? Or do we allow other situations to control us? What can you control? You have to be able to control those things. And I'm telling you, the most important thing is you have to be able to look outside of yourself and be a servant. Being a servant now says, you know what? It's not about me. This situation is not about me. How can I help enlighten you on whatever the case is? How can I help enlighten you on what's going on in this world? Things that I cannot control, I don't even hesitate. I don't even think about it. I throw them out really quick because it's something that's either going to cause some type of distraction or it's something that's going to cause some type of irritation. And the thing is, do I want that irritation to fester and create doubt? Or do I want to think about things that's positive? Think about things that I can actually control that's going to catapult me into my next future, catapult me into my next dimension or to my next endeavors. Do I want to think about things that are unattainable or do I want to think about things that I can actually reach? And those are questions that we have to ask ourselves.
Yeah, and I think, that's so true because, like I said, for me, speaking from my experience, when somebody says something or does something that is hurtful, I tended to talk about it and talk about it and over talk it and over talk it. And then my throat would get dry. My chest would hurt. I'd get a headache. I'd feel lethargic. I'd feel like I was powerless. I'd feel chained to the ground. I could see people around me look like they were heavy because I was heavy. So I'm looking at this going, man, I just took away hours of my day, energy. I feel sick. I feel tired. And did it change anything? No. And I can say this, but I have to live this. Worrying about a problem has never solved a problem.
Come on, man.
When you're walking, I tell people this thing, and I used to say this in relationships that I had that were not fruitful. I said, I dated somebody before where she saw the fire in the kitchen, so she went in the living room. And then the fire moved to the living room, so she went upstairs. And then the fire moved upstairs, so she went to the roof. And then eventually she was sitting in a pile of ashes because the whole house burned down. Worrying doesn't solve anything, and ignoring a problem doesn't solve anything. So the question is, okay, Dan, where do we go? If we can't worry about it, but we have to focus on a resolution, this is what you need to understand. And this is what I told people before, and I just had this conversation. When people say to me, hey, I know that such and such, I know blank is never going to change. I know she or he is never going to change. So why should I tell them that this is my line? I said, you know why? Because if they cross it, then maybe for nobody else, but for you, there's repercussions. There's a consequence. They may never change. You don't put the line there to make them change. You put the line there to say, hey, if you don't change, this is my limit. This is my piece. This is where I have to say no more. I tell people this all the time. The lines are not for them. The lines are for you. Because if they cross that line with everybody in their life, maybe they get away with it. But I've met people that are in their 60s, 70s, that never apologized. Then they met me and they did something really mean. And I said, hey, I don't like that. I would like for you to say you're sorry. I would say I'm sorry if I did it. And they look at you and they go, I don't want to say I'm sorry. I said, okay, well, then this is my line. This is where I stand. You might have disrespected everybody your entire life, but that does not give you a right to do it to Juanita, to me, or to anybody else after today. Drawing a line in the sand does not state that they're going to stop. It doesn't state that you can control them. It doesn't state that they're going to be a better person. All it says to them is, if you cross this line, my place is to tell you no, because your inner peace, your sanctuary cannot be disrupted. Once it's disrupted, you can't focus on what matters. And if you can't focus on what matters, you can't help yourself, and you're not going to be able to help other people.
So you make a great point. The first thing you talked about was worry. We have to get rid of worrying about things that's completely out of our hand. Worry causes stress. Stress causes dis-ease. You wonder why so many people are in discomfort. You wonder why so many people are in disarray, because they're in dis-ease. They don't have an opportunity to release what they're holding on to. So many people, you think about this. You look at the graveyard. So many people have passed away in the grave with dis-ease, with carrying so much in their heart, with holding on to grudges. Something that happened 20, 30 years ago, they're still holding on to it. Something that happened 10 years ago, they're still holding on to it. You're moved into a whole nother year. You're in 2022, and you're still holding on to something that happened at the beginning of 2021. Yeah. Where do we grow up? Where do people grow up and stop saying, you know what, I'm going to continue to hold on to these grudges. I'm going to continue to act like a child. I'm going to continue to try to figure out how I'm going to get you back for what you did to me. When do people grow up? See, I know the Bible, and the Bible says this: once I was a child, I spoke as a child, I did childish things. But when I dropped those things, I became an adult. I grew up. I'm paraphrasing. I grew up.
Yeah.
So we have to do this. Agree to disagree. You don't have to be able to have control over every single thing. You don't have to be able to know every single thing. Just because someone else has an opinion about something, and they may be extremely strong about their opinion, hold yours to yourself. I read this in Proverbs. An empty wagon continues to talk. If you want to look like a fool, keep on talking. That's what Proverbs says. I didn't say it. Proverbs said this. But even a fool is what it also says. Even a fool is wise if he or she stops talking. So sometimes the best way, a lot of times the best way, I want to knock out the word sometimes, right? A lot of times the best way to get your point across is to listen. Wow, what? Did you hear what I said? It's to listen. Because listening, you get a better opportunity to understand what the person is saying. You get a better opportunity to really hear what that person is saying. And so why worry? Can we count the hairs that we have on our head? Who feeds the birds? Who feeds the lilies? God does. So when we take what we cannot control and we give it up to God and we say, God, here you go. Have this. I cannot control this. Matter of fact, God, I give you all of this. I'm giving you 2 hands worth of this. Matter of fact, shoot it at him. Throw it up there. I'm talking about hold it. Okay? And then fall back on it and say, God, I'm giving you all the J's. Here you go. Here you go. I'm knocking it down. God, have all of it, because I know that if I hold it inside of me, it is going to hurt me. It is going to make me have a dis-ease. So I got to get this off my back, because you told me that I'm not supposed to carry this cross. I'm not supposed to carry this burden. I'm not supposed to carry this bondage. I'm not supposed to carry this captivity. I'm giving this over to you. Why try to control something that has no substance?
Yeah.
Why try to talk about something that is only a one conversation? So you can only control what you can control, and worrying about it does not mean that the conversation is actually being heard, or is the conversation actually going anywhere? Because here's the thing, you could be worrying while the other person or the situation is going on about his business.
Yeah.
Then you ask God, you say, God, give me a blessing. Well, we can't get a blessing because your heart isn't clean. Your heart isn't pure. Control what you can control. Let things go. It's too much. It's too much in this world to hold on to something that happened 20 years ago, 30 years ago, that happened 5 minutes ago. Let it go. Because trying to prove the point to make your point does not mean that you are smart. Being a listener makes you look more powerful. Matter of fact, understanding gives you more wisdom. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7 says, wisdom is the principal thing, and all thy getting, get understanding. So if you stop talking and just listen, and another thing, I got to say this, Dan, man, we have to stop trying to put ourselves in a position to be successful if that's not even the door that God has asked us to go into. That position to be successful can be a relationship, can be a job opportunity, can be a business opportunity. If that's not the thing that God has asked us to go into, and you clearly see that your puzzle don't fit that slot, stop trying to jam it in there. That's not where you're supposed to go. There's a timing and a place for every single thing. Nothing just happens. Everything happens for a reason. But there's also a waiting process. And if we cannot learn to wait on opportunities instead of trying to rush into something, we'll miss the mark. Control what you can control, and worrying causes dis-ease. So if you don't want to stress about something, stop trying to control everything. Live life a little bit, man. Come on, people live life a little bit, right? Live life, smile more. I'm telling you, it will truly break down the scales that you have on your face. Smile. What's the worst thing that can happen? Somebody see you're missing tooth. So what? So what? Smile. Because that smile gives you joy. Can't you see what I have on behind me? Joy. Joy. I know you see that big old joy. Joy. Because joy gives you strength. Joy helps you to understand that you're not doing this by yourself. The Bible says, for the joy of the Lord is your strength. Why worry about countless things that has no substance to your future? The only way it has substance to your future is if you continue to talk about it. Then that means that you're watering that old seed. Stop looking back when God is saying, I put eyes in the front of your head for you to walk forward. I never put eyes behind you so that you can continue to look backwards. Looking backwards only keeps you in a familiarity. You're trying to move forward to your future, not to your familiarity. You came from your past. Don't go backwards. Go forward. Because what's in front of you is far greater than what's behind you.
Yeah, and you brought up so much there. And when you said stop worrying about everything and just live, just be, if you worry about everything, you're not doing anything. And and I've caught myself in those days where somebody said something or did something that bothered me, and I think back on it, I'm like, well, I talked to my mom about it for an hour, I talked to my dad for 2 hours, I talked to my girlfriend for 3 hours, I talked to my best friend for an hour, and by the time I was done talking about the thing I've been talking about all day, I was all talked out and I had to go to bed. And I spent the whole day talking about it, but it didn't get solved. Here's the thing. I witnessed in my own life, and on this show and everywhere, I am who I am. You shut the mic off, on me. You turn it on me. So I experienced over the last couple months someone who made a judgment call on who I am and then decided to spend time yelling, chastising, putting me down, punishing me, trying to control people in the situation. And I listened, Juanita. I sat and I listened to this person. I listened. And I thought to myself, there's no way I can get through to them. But I know who I am. And then a couple months later, this person is still talking. And I haven't said a word from that moment to now. I haven't said anything. And they're still talking. And they're still chirping in people's ears, still trying to get them to believe Dan isn't a good person. Dan isn't this. Dan ain't that. Dan can't do this. And I asked myself the question, what do I do with that? What do I do with someone who didn't know me then, doesn't know me now, but won't stop talking? What would you say?
Man. Look, I'm over trying to keep myself. Together. I don't know if you can see to hear me. Like I'm over like banging on the thing. I'm trying to keep myself together. Man, listen, let me tell you something. I'm excited about that. You got people talking about you? You mean to tell me that you got people right now talking about you to other people that you don't talk to? Let me tell you what that is, Dan. You got free advertisement and you didn't ask for it. You got people running their mouth, talking about you, Dan, listen, that's the best thing in the world. You didn't have to pay for this advertisement. You didn't have to pay to get into somebody else's office. You didn't have to pay them to give you nothing. Dan, they are doing you a favor. Because here's the thing. Character always trumps somebody's false words.
Yeah.
Who you are should never change. It should never be predicated on what somebody else say. Who cares what people say? At the end of the day, the higher you go up, the higher anybody goes up. Let me talk to our listeners, man. The higher you guys go up, okay? The higher you go, guess what? The lower the haters go. And the lower the haters go, the haters gotta have something to pull on to try to pull them up. It's called crabs in the barrel. If they can keep you inside the barrel with them, guess what's gonna happen? They're gonna try to do everything that they can. But when you wake up and you stop asking for validation from somebody else, and you stop saying, please, haters, stop talking about me. Please, haters, stop running and telling everybody about me. Please stop telling them that please stop. See, the more you talk about me, the more you put my name out there, the more you say what you think I am, or you tell people who you think I am, the more they talk about you. Guess what? The more people gonna come and try to search you out and find out who you are. They're really gonna try to find out what's good about you. So here's what you do. You tell your haters, thank you so much. I appreciate it. You're not going to get one response out of me, because then they win. Who's in control? You are. What they cannot stop, they can't stop your smile. They can't stop your character. They can't stop who you are. They can't stop that you're a son of God, a woman of God. They can't stop your success. They can't stop the favor that's on your life. They can't stop all the things that God is going to do. Matter of fact, the most important thing, they don't even know the plan that God has for you. Matter of fact, they could be a part of the plan. Let me go on and say it like this. They are part of the plan and they didn't even know it. So, you know what you got to do? You got to tell them, thank you so much, man. You opening up doors that I didn't even know I was supposed to walk into. You putting my name before people that I didn't even ask to be in front of. Now, I keep getting all of these calls, all of these opportunities because you are doing me a favor. Here's the thing. People got to stop being mad at their haters and let their haters do their job. See, haters got a job too, just as well as successors. Successor's job is to teach people how not to be a hater. Hater's job is to teach people who they are. Right? See, our job is to keep walking by faith and not by sight. When we get our sight on things that don't matter, it knocks us off course. But when we keep our sight on things that matter, we stay on target.
Yeah.
Don't allow anybody to knock you off target. It doesn't matter what people are saying. Stop listening to them. Those are your ears. They on your head. They on your body for a reason. You got 2 feet. Walk away. Don't answer that call. Don't return. I mean, who cares? Listen, they wouldn't be hating on you if you didn't have anything inside of you. Come on now. They would be hating on you if you wasn't successful. They would not. The enemy doesn't come to steal something that he does not know has value. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah.
That nobody comes to steal anything that doesn't have value. If it doesn't have value, there's no need for anyone to try to get it. So if you know that you got people talking about you unexpectedly, and they didn't call you and ask you, they didn't sign that waiver, you know, they didn't sign that paper, right? If they talking about you and you didn't ask them to talk about you, doggone it, you gotta be doing something right. You gotta be doing something right. And I'm talking to our Facebook listeners. I'm talking to all of our listeners out there. Wherever you're listening from, whatever country you're listening from, whatever state you're listening from, you may be at your job. And I hope that you hear this. If you got people that's talking about you and you ain't called them on the phone and said, listen, let me give you the scoop, and they got the nerves to talk about you and they really don't know who the real you, who you are for real, you know what you got to do? Applaud them. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. You finally pulled your chair up to the table because it was already prepared for you. That's what the words say.
Yeah.
The words say, I have prepared a table before the presence of your enemies.
Yeah.
So guess what? God already had this table fixed for you. They just happened to pull their seat up at the right time. They are part of the plan. See, you need your haters for stepping stones. You understand? And in order to go up the ladder, you got to keep on stepping on top of something to go higher. And also, too, it's motivation. So here's the thing. What can you control in this whole topic, in this whole situation? You can control your emotions. You can control what you say. You can control how you respond to different things. You can control what you do in that day. You can either let that affect you, or you can keep it moving and talk to somebody else that needs your seeds, that your water, they need that water that's inside of you to help water the seed that's inside of them. Don't get off track talking about something that's irrelevant. Let your free promotion happen. You understand what I'm saying? Let your free promotion happen, because greater is he that's on the inside of you than he that's in the world. When you wake up and you smell your own coffee, oh, that's when you make your moves up. When you wake up and you smell your own coffee, that's when you make your moves up. Because here's the coffee. The coffee is, you got life. You woke up. Now God gave you a purpose. Get up, wash your face, make your bed, brush your teeth. Most importantly, say, good morning, God. I thank you for this day, because this is the day that the Lord has made. God, whatever you have for me in this day, I'm ready to tackle it, because I know that I'm not going out here by myself. I know that I have 10,000 angels going with me. I know that I will succeed. I know this. I believe this. And God, I don't need validation from somebody else to tell me what you already told me. So God, I trust you in everything that I'm about to do, because you already ordered my steps. You've already created my plan for this day. You already been here. One day for us is 1,000 years for you. One day for us is 1,000 years for God. He's already been here. We just now happen to wake up in this day. So congratulate everybody that's talking about you, good and bad. Congratulate them all, because you need them all. Everybody promoting your name somewhere. That matter of fact, some people promote your name in places that you didn't even know you're supposed to go. And when that door opened, walk into it and be like, here I am. They've been talking about me. I'm here in the flesh, baby.
Yeah, and I think what I've learned in all of this was that conversation was somebody trying to control someone else. And so they put disrespect on my name in order to control somebody else's, and I saw that, and you realize things about people. And what I never thought I'd experienced in my life before is when people try to control people, normally they don't say it. This person flat out looked at the person and said, I'm going to put you on a leash where you belong. And I remember looking at that going, you're trying to tell this person who to be around, what to do, how to live. And like you said, tell them, thank you, your free publicity, free promotion of me. But I remember looking at that going, they're not trying to control me. They're trying to control somebody in front of me. And so what can I do with this? And that's when you have to believe in the Almighty God, that if that person is supposed to love you, no one can control them not to. If that person is supposed to work with you, nobody can control them not to. If that person is supposed to sing with you on a track, nobody can control them not to. Because you only want the people around you that cannot be controlled. You only want the situations around you that cannot be controlled. Because I'm going to do this here, and this is perfect, because normally this is around my neck, but you know what? It's perfect timing for me to do this right now while we're on the show, because I remember that there was only one person who died for me. So let me just take this off for a second, because I want everybody to see me do this, because I'm proud to do this, and nobody should ever be afraid to do this. When you lose your way, when you lose your sight, when you lose your focus, when you lose what was driving you, when you feel like you lost who you are, right here. Hey, God, I got lost. Help me find my way home today. That's it. Try that, folks that are listening and they're watching. When you feel lost, when somebody does something to you, when something happens to you, when somebody cuts you off in traffic and gives you a dirty look and you feel like it's personal, when a boss lets you go, when somebody doesn't show up to work that's supposed to work for you and you got to end up working extra hours, when somebody with your family comes down with something, cancer, COVID, something happens. When you are watching somebody try to put disrespect on your name and you can't sit there and swear at them and yell at them and stoop to their level. When you feel like the world shut the lights off on you. Look here. Hey, God, I lost my way. Help me get home today. Just help me get home. He'll get you home.
Man, that's beautifully said, man. That's beautifully said. Here's the thing. Whenever you lose your way, don't look to the left, don't look to the right. Keep your eyes focused upward. Because when your eyes are focused upward, you're not looking down. You weren't meant to look down. You was meant to soar. You was meant to believe in something higher. You wasn't meant to believe what's beneath. You was meant to believe in something higher. Because all the time, we don't want to go lower. We want to go higher. Take us to the next level. Take us to the next, next opportunity. What's my next? What's my next? What's my next? Well, the next thing is this. The more you look down, the lower you go. The higher you look, the higher you go. Without joy, you lose a lot of strength. And a lot of people can say whatever they want and the circumstances can take on and they can control you. But when you realize that you have the ultimate thing, you have a gift inside of you that's so great. When you believe in yourself, when you speak to yourself multiple times over and over and over, when you tell yourself, it does not matter what anybody else says about me. I know who I am, and I know whose I am. Take this. It's 2022. What do you have to lose? Nothing. Just believe in yourself. You have absolutely nothing to lose.
Yeah.
But you do have everything to gain. And what can you gain? You can gain a lot from believing in yourself. You've done a whole bunch of everybody doing this, everybody said that, everybody did this. Well, you've spent a whole decade talking about the problem. Why not spend this year talking about the solution? And what is the solution? I let go of what was behind me and I look forward to what's in front of me. Speak these words to yourself. I can, I will succeed. I can, I will succeed. It is a declaration. It is a decree. It is a declaration. It is a decree. Whatever you are wanting to instill in your life, you have to plant one seed at a time. Why not start by talking to yourself? Change the way you think. Stop thinking about old things. Stop thinking about what was. Whenever you think about what was and old things, you're taking a step backwards. Let it go. Let it go. Move forward and believe. I can, I will succeed. It's your time to be grateful. It's your time to be thankful. It's your time to tell yourself, hey, guess what? I'm proud of you. Hey, guess what? I believe in you. Hey, guess what? You are good. Hey, guess what? You are smart. Hey, guess what? You are beautiful. Guess what? Yeah, man, I am handsome. Guess what? I am awesome. Guess what? I will be successful. Why? Because I believe that greater is he that's on the inside of me than he that's in the world. When you lose yourself to this world, you will gain so much. Stop trying to please everybody and please God. You got to think about this. Don't do this for yourself. Do this for God. Has nothing to do with you. This thing is bigger than you. This is bigger than you. Because if you keep doing the same thing and you keep getting the same results, you never find a different solution. So why keep doing the same thing in the same results? This time it's time to change it up. Switch it up. Stop trying to do the same thing to get the same results. How about doing a different thing and getting new results? This is a new season. This is a new time. It's time to smile more. It's time to live more. It's time to take care of what God has put inside of you. It's your time. Water the seed. Remember, I can, I will succeed. It's a declaration. It's a decree. Don't ever lose sight of who you are. You don't need anybody else to tell you who you are. Go to the mirror. Talk to yourself. I don't care how you look. You don't care how you look. But guess what? God sees something that's way more beautiful than you could ever imagine. Believe it. I can, I will succeed. Dan, thank you so much, man, for having me on the show. I absolutely love being here because I know that one person got it. And one person's life is being changed for the rest of their life.
And my note here in closing is something that you said. Look forward, don't look down. Peter walked on water when Jesus said, come to me. Peter went through the water when Peter looked down. Faith in yourself, faith in your God. And to remember something. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. That's not a cliche, it's the truth. And just because somebody says something about you, when somebody says, this is who Dan is, this is who Juanita is, that doesn't make it true. I had to sit there and watch somebody say, this is who Dan is. This is what Dan's going to do. And you know what? I should have laughed and said, wow. Did I jump out my body? Are they me now? Are they in here? No. Just because somebody says who you are and what you're going to do doesn't make it right. You decide. Somebody's words spoken about you does not define you. It is not you. We live in a world where when somebody says this is who you are, we believe them. God already told you who you are. I have called you by name and you are mine. So be his. People speak. It doesn't make it true. You know who you are. And if I need a reminder any day about why do I get this treatment? Why does somebody say this? Why does somebody do this? Why do I feel like I'm being persecuted? Guess what? A perfect being, perfect, was swapped for a murderer. Strangers begged for him to be murdered, to be crucified. Strangers asked for him to die. Strangers judged him, persecuted him. They didn't know Jesus. How do you expect them to know you? So stop trying to get the world to know you and start showing God who you are. Because the people on Twitter don't open the gates to heaven, but they may open the gates somewhere else, and you don't want to go there. Juanita, as always, we know who the gatekeeper is, and I love you and I appreciate you. And I'm just here to try to go home. I heard it's nice. But I appreciate you as always. I love you. And that's the biggest message I could take from Controlling the Controllables, is just because somebody says who you are, you're the only one that can decide if their words are right. Their words fall on emptiness against the truth. Who you are will shine through. I tell people this all the time. If you're a good person, the worst thing you can do to what people are saying is be yourself. Because you will eventually refute everything by just being you. We live in a world where we need people to tell us who we are. Know who you are. And when you forget Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, the mall, the movies, music, it's not going to tell you who you are. You're the only one writing your story. You want to know who you are? Ask him. He's the one that brought you here. He's the one that made you. And he's the only one that can answer the question. I appreciate you as always, sis.
Dan, thank you so much, man. Spoiled milk is not meant to be drunk. It's meant to be poured out. Pour it out.
It's all fertile and nasty.
Time to get some new milk.
Check the date.
Hey, man, I love you, man. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Love you too. Appreciate it. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville beats. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, The impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt, hanging out here inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios. Cafe Kubal there for you on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners in their drive-through location. They're also there and the drive-through location has a new electric sign, which is fantastic. Saw it last night when I was driving home. So a lot of great stuff from Cafe Kubal. I want to give a shout out to 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, another location of Cafe Kubal, and of course their Syracuse locations, 401 South Salina Street, as well as on 3501 James Street and inside of Golisano's Children's Hospital. And, of course, being sold at PB&J's Lunchbox on 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. You can get Cafe Kubal there as well. So big shout-out to Cafe Kubal. Awesome show so far with the fantastic words of Juanita Ward. Thank her so much and being able to bring you the annoying moment of the week. Now I have the opportunity to bring you the top dog of the week. And mind you, folks, that the annoying moment of the week, lead, and the top dog of the week are three signature segments here on every TGIF broadcast of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. And this is a first of each of them for 2022. So the first annoying moment of the week of 2022, first lead of 2022, and the first top dog of the week. So with that being said, let's hop into the top dog of the week. My top dog of the week this week, and really for the last, I could say this forever. I can say this back to World War times. I can say this back even farther than that during the times of Jesus himself. The top dog of the week this week, they are our healthcare workers. Hospital beds are becoming far and few between right now. We're in a situation now where elective surgeries might be getting canceled. Hospitals are getting pushed again. People are having to deal with variants to the virus and whatnot. And so we're in a situation right now where it has become difficult. It has become trying. And let me just tell you this in and of itself. For doctors and nurses, CRNAs, anesthesiologists, and everyone alike, their jobs are already difficult. Your life is in their hands all the time. Be it a common cold or cancer. Be it something that they've done a million times or something that maybe they've never seen before. I've learned so many things by being connected with someone in the healthcare industry. I've learned so much from them. that they can literally come home, sit on the couch and say, I just saved a life today. What do you want for dinner? And they say it like, oh, it's no big deal. And I'm sitting here going, you're the reason why someone has a mother today? You're the reason why this guy gets to go home to his family today? You know, our healthcare workers don't get the respect and the appreciation that they deserve. And that is heartbreaking because we need them. Okay? I understand that not every doctor is a good doctor, but that doesn't mean they're all bad and we need doctors. I understand that not every cop may do things the most moral way, but we need cops, and there are good cops out there. I understand that every firefighter may not be the best firefighter in the world, but we need firefighters because they help us to stay alive. The reality of it all, folks, is our firefighters, our ENTs, our doctors, our nurses, our CRNAs, our anesthesiologists, our police enforcement, they are here to protect. They are here to help. And they don't get enough love. And in the healthcare industry, these people, they help people who are coming out of insane asylums. They help people who maybe were involved in a prison riot. They help people who may have just hurt somebody else. They put themselves in harm's way every single day. They don't know if their patient is a convicted felon or if their patient is just, the person down the street. It could be an 87-year-old man. It could be a 5-year-old boy. It could be a 70-year-old woman. It could be a 14-year-old girl. They never know who they're going to have. They never know what situation they're going to be put in. They don't know if it's COVID. They don't know if it's cancer. They don't know if it's an aortic dissection. They don't know if it's a heart attack. They don't know if this person is violent. They don't know if this person is calm. They don't know if this person is carrying something. They don't know if this person is not. There are so many things in the healthcare world that I'm sure they don't even think of when they go to work. They just think, hey, I'm going to help as many people as I possibly can today to be okay. There are 4 CRNAs that lost their lives recently because a patient decided to lose control. We don't thank people enough for what they do. And if anybody quit of any profession today, think about if the hospital, if a doctor, if a CRNA, if an anesthesiologist, if a nurse just said, you know what? I can't do it anymore. You know what? I'm done. You know what? I'm out. People would die. People would have nobody. Again, going back to the annoying moment of the week, we need to be personally responsible. We need each other. We cannot afford to say, let them go to work. I don't have to. I'll make money at home. Because if every nurse and every doctor and every CRNA and every anesthesiologist did that, heck, every receptionist did that, heck, everybody that parks your car in the hospital did that, heck, if every lunch lady in the cafeteria of the hospital did that, and lunch person in the hospital did that, where would we be? We are so consumed by stuff that doesn't matter these days. Instead of looking at what really does matter, we need each other. We need each other. We are better together than apart. So to the people in the healthcare world, thank you. Thank you for not quitting. Thank you for not sitting home and just getting a paycheck. Thank you for taking care of us. Thank you for putting yourself in harm's way every day. You could catch the virus. You could catch the disease. You could deal with a patient that's unruly, a patient that's violent. You could love a patient and do everything you possibly can and have that patient still pass away. And you're the ones that have to tell the families. You're the ones that have to tell the families when someone passes. Your job is to see life and death before your eyes every single day. And yet you get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning, midnight, 7 a.m., 3 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m. It doesn't matter. You're on call, you're running. You run into the fire, not away from it. Thank you. Thank you for what you do for all of us. From my heart to yours, thank you for not giving up. Thank you for being there. Thank you for caring. And please remember, you have our lives in your hands. Thank you in advance for honoring those lives, caring about those lives, loving those lives, and being good to us, even when we're total strangers. God bless you for that. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. When we come back, we'll wrap up today's show with Pacer Pride, which rounds out every week on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We will be joined by Executive Director of Athletics, which I'm very happy to have back on the show, Mr. Pat Murphy of Marywood University, right after this fast break. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Kampground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Kampground and where your dog will be staying in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Kampground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9Kampground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9Kampground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Kampground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout Central and Upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. As a patient, what do we want? To be cared for, to be listened to, and to have someone walk us through the process on our path to victory. Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics does all of those things beautifully, with Dr. Mark Petropoli leading the team on 791 West Genesee Street in Skaneateles, New York, located minutes from beautiful Skaneateles Lake. Whatever your injury may be from head to toe, preventative care, rehab, physical therapy, laser therapy, and surgery are all available at Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, where they care about us, they listen to us, and they understand that everyone's path to victory is a little bit different. Let them help you on yours by calling 315-685-7544 to make your appointment today. That's 315-685-7544. And find out more information at victorysportsmedicine.com. And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt, where sports meets that thing called life. We're very happy to be here with you inside of the Cafe Kubal studios and welcoming you here for a TGIF, the first Friday of the new year that we are here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora with you. So welcome in here to our first Friday of 2022. And you know, on Fridays, it's all about Pacer Pride here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. And frankly, it's all about Pacer Pride all year round. But our Pacer Pride exclusive specials get to air for you here on Fridays. And so we are going to start off the new year with the head of the athletic department at Marywood University, and that is Executive Director of Athletics, Mr. Pat Murphy, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. So let's bring him in. Pat, how are we doing today?
Hey, Dan, I'm doing good. Happy New Year to you.
And a Happy New Year to you too, Pat. And just what, you're most grateful for as you came out of last year, maybe we're a little bit reflective. What were you grateful for from last year going in here to 2022?
Professionally, I'm grateful that I'm at a wonderful university, that I surround myself every day with wonderful people that I work with day in and day out. I got wonderful student athletes. It's a Marywood University, you being an alum knows that it's all about the people here. We have great people here, and I'm very, very fortunate to be a part of the team.
And we look at this team that you have, and Pat, finding the right people. When you came in 3 years ago, some people already in place and then other things having to move around and whatnot. When you're looking for the right team, the right group of leaders, it takes a great leader to understand the leaders that are going to be running these programs throughout. It's not just that you're at the head of the ship here and you're steering the ship. It's not that you're standing at the wheel and paying attention to nobody else. The ship doesn't run without everybody. So what can you say about your team of coaches and who's helping you to steer the ship in 2022?
Well, I was fortunate enough. I walked into a situation, Dr. Mary Jo Gunning, who had been here for 30 years prior, I would say a majority of the people were already in place when I got here. So she did an incredible job of hiring a good team. Since I've been here, we've added on Jen Carlton, women's basketball. That was one of my hires. The e-sport director was one of my hires. Men's tennis. And who else? Why do I think there's someone else? Oh, yeah, men's soccer was my hire. But I inherited a great group of people, Dan. And, I think the biggest thing is when you're looking to fill positions is, you take a look at everyone's resume as they come in, and you can whittle it down to, who has experience, who's relatively regional, that would have good high school ties, et cetera, et cetera. But one of the things that I do, Dan, is I really look for a fit. I look for someone that I feel can fit in here with the personalities that are already in place, because I think that's crucial. And, I kind of run our department up here like we're one big family, and we all have each other's backs and we all respect each other. So, that being said, I think fit's a big piece of it.
Speaking here with the Executive Director of Athletics at Marywood University, Pat Murphy. Pat, for you, as you said, bringing in some of these hires, esports has been a big thing that you and I have talked about over the first couple months of this multimedia marketing partnership that we started in 2021, the first of its kind at Marywood University, and obviously my alma mater. Brandon and Jarrett for each esports, just what you could say about bringing them on. Brandon leading the League of Legends and Jarrett leading the Rocket League. just what you've learned from esports and what you've learned from them.
Well, the funny thing is, and I've told this story 100 times, is I wasn't really well versed in esport, and I remember when I interviewed here, Sister Mary, our school president, asked me, about esports, and I said, well, I don't know much about esports, but I think I know where to go to find the answer. And a year later, here we are with an esport program and probably have one of the nicest esport facilities on the East Coast. And the university did a wonderful job of putting the resources in towards this. And, in our first season, Dan, our esports has hit it out of the ballpark. I mean, we played in the finals for 2 of the 3 sports. And, Jarrett and Paul, they've just done a wonderful job here. Wonderful job in our inaugural season. I think 19-9 overall.
Yeah, and we take a look at what they've done there. You look at tennis as well, and like you talked about your hire there, just what you can say about when you brought on as far as tennis and men's soccer, just what when you go through the process of finding the right coach. You've worked at a bunch of different levels. You spent a lot of time at Division I for NCAA. So when you go through the process of finding a head coach, in these 2 specifically, feel free to go there for tennis and for soccer, but just what your kind of plan of attack is when you try to break down where to go and what you're looking for.
Well, I'm a firm believer in this. I think that you could be the greatest coach in the world, but if you're a bad recruiter, you're not going to have success. I'd almost rather have a great recruiter and an average X's and O's coach. So, that being said, let's just take when men's soccer opens up, okay? You cannot believe how many resumes I get in. I get in people from Mexico. I get resumes from people from California. But when I look at their background and qualifications, whereas it may be impressive, are they going to have any ties to local high schools or local AAU or Olympic development programs regionally here? Because I think that's the key. We need to find someone that, yes, has been an assistant or head coach at our level or above, but also has ties to, local high schools, local AAU programs, local Olympic sports programs to try to get the best athletes, student athletes in here that we can get. Someone from California, I don't think is going to be able to come to Scranton, Pennsylvania and recruit New Jersey right away. He doesn't have the relationships for that. So that's one thing that I look for when I'm looking through resumes.
And recruiting obviously is such a huge part of any business anywhere to be successful. So, Pat, for you, when you're looking at the world of recruiting and you're trying to find the right leadership for that, what type of key elements to maybe someone's personality or way they go about their business do you look for? When you're sitting and you're interviewing a potential head coach, what are you trying to really seek out in your questioning when it comes to recruiting? How are you trying to essentially read between the lines?
Well, first of all, when someone comes in and I'm talking to them, listen, recruiting is sales, okay? So when I'm sitting across from a young coach, male or female, I want to see how well they're selling themselves, first of all. I want to see the passion that they have. I'm looking for passion, because if you have passion for yourself or this position or whatever, that passion is going to it's going to come out, even out there on the recruiting trails. I love to hire people that were former student athletes here at Marywood, because no one can tell the story of Marywood better than a former student athlete can. So I think that's one of the things I look for. Dan, I want someone that can communicate really well, someone that carries a passion and is a good salesperson.
And we look at Marywood University, speaking here with Pat Murphy, the Executive Director of Athletics at Marywood, here inside of our exclusive Pacer Pride monthly segments on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora in our multimedia marketing partnership. And Pat, when you look at, I know recruiting has such a great importance to you. Why Marywood as we step into 2022? I know we've talked about, reasons that Marywood was enticing to you and taking this job and whatnot. But as we step forward, what is it about Marywood that you're most excited about when it comes to the new year?
Well, first of all, I mentioned this earlier. I've been to several institutions, and I absolutely love the people here at Marywood, from the leadership on down. Everyone here, everyone seems to be on the same page. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful institution, and I'm excited. I love. I'm on the senior leadership team here at the university. I love the people that we deal with day in and day out. I love the leadership that comes down from the top. We have a wonderful president that absolutely loves athletics and what athletics does for Marywood University. I personally think that this place, we're just hitting the tip of the iceberg. I mean, once we improve on our facilities a little bit, the area, Dunmore, PA, which is really part of Scranton, but we're in Dunmore. It's a beautiful town, beautiful homes, a safe environment. This is a great place to do your 4 years as a college student.
And when you look at, we know the community, you know the community, I know it. I not only, went to school at Marywood University for 4 years, but I also, after getting my bachelor's degree, went and worked at Times Shamrock Communications downtown and, worked on ESPN Radio in my first opportunity with an ESPN Radio affiliate. And that was 630, 1240, and 96.1 FM. So I know the area, you know the area. How would you describe the area of Northeast Pennsylvania, Scranton, Dunmore? I know what I feel, I know what I see, but to somebody that's saying, hey, Pat, I'm looking at the school, I'm getting recruited by, Coach X, and I'm looking at this, and this, but tell me why. What would you say to them about the community, and especially in a world we live in today when you have to do some stuff virtually, what are the things you want to touch upon when we have to get unique?
Well, I'll say this much, Dan. When I interviewed here and came here, I had never really been to the Scranton area before, and I had this mindset of what Scranton was all about, based on TV shows and things along those lines, and I couldn't have been more wrong. Scranton is a wonderful community. You've got good restaurants here. You've got good culture here. You got the Pocono Mountains close by. You've got, you're 2.5 hours from Philadelphia. You're 2.5 hours from New York City. You've got an area down here where Marywood is in it, which it's just a beautiful community with beautiful homes and all that. Joe Biden grew up at the foot of our university. But I think one of the things that strikes me about this area, more so than any other area I've ever been in, is the people in this community are so loyal to Scranton. Like, they'll go away for a period of time, but they always come back to Scranton. And no one ever says a bad word about Scranton here. People absolutely love living here in Scranton. And I'm sorry, Dan, I didn't get the last part of your question.
Just for you, when you look at, this community and whatnot, because we have to get so unique in recruiting nowadays with virtual visits because of, the COVID times these last couple of years, what do you want coaches to focus on? What do you want to focus on when they have to send a virtual visit to somebody? What do you want to make sure that they see? What type of pillars of this university and the community do you really want to make sure that they touch upon?
Well, first of all, virtual recruiting, if you have to do that, and we had to do it a year ago, all of our sports did, but it wasn't just for us, it was for the whole nation pretty much. Again, I think it comes down to the people. I think our coaches need to tell the student athletes that, listen, you come to Marywood, you're not a number. You'll walk away here with lifelong relationships with your professors, with your coaches. Once you're part of the Marywood family, you're always a part of the Marywood family. Dan, let's take you for instance. We had a conversation, I believe it was last night, where we were talking about Junan Greco, who's over there in the marketing department, telling you how proud they are of you and how they follow you and all of this. I mean, those are relationships that you'll carry with you the rest of your life. And any student athlete that's coming here is going to be a part of the Marywood family forever. And, you know, and you don't get that at a lot of institutions, but you do get it here.
Yeah, you know, and you bring that up. You know, it's the people. You can't substitute anything for the people, the genuineness of a person, somebody who really shows you that they care. And it's funny that you say that, because when I came to Marywood University to visit and try and decide what college I was going to go to, the first person that I met, and may he rest in peace, one of my close friends and one of my mentors, somebody that was also my teacher, Jay Hammerin, when I came to Marywood University, he was the first person that I really got to spend some good time with. And he reached his hand out when I came to Marywood, and I was there with my dad. My mom couldn't come on that trip. She came on the second one. So I was there with my dad, and here I am at a university I have never been to before. And out walks Jay Hammerin, and he looks at me and he goes, "You must be Dan Tortora." And he puts his hand out, and I looked at him and I looked at my dad like, why does this guy know my name? How does this guy know my name? Because, you know, I'm thinking in my head, they got a bunch of people coming through. They're probably, you know, God knows how many people are going to be here today. And I figure it's kind of like, hey, how are you? Take a look around. I didn't think anybody was going to show us around. I didn't think it was going to be, you know, they kind of made me feel like the red carpet was rolled out. Hey, here's Dan Tortora. What do you want to know, Dan? What are you looking to study? Let me help you with this. Can you tell me some of, you know, the curriculum you're looking to do? And I remember that Jay made promises to me, and he made good on a lot of the things that him and I were talking about that day, that I didn't want to just be a digital media and broadcasting major. I wanted to learn about everything. I wanted to get a feel for everything. I worked in theater, and I wanted to really understand the ins and outs of in front of the camera, behind the camera, light design, audio, video, working in the theatrical world and what that meant, screenwriting. And Jay helped me to find my place. And I remember telling people, and I'll still tell people to this day, he was 70% of the reason why I came to Marywood. He was more than half of why. And it all started that day when he reached his hand out and he said, "You must be Dan Tortora." And I remember looking at him going, the fact that he took the time to just look up who his next appointment was or who was on campus, the fact that he knows my name and actually took even 2 seconds to care about the fact that I was on campus, that I was with my family, that he knew my name, and that he knew that I was looking to be in communications, that meant the world to me, that he just took that little bit of time.
About this, Dan, first of all, I'm sure it was sincere.
Yeah.
But think about it from this standpoint. How many years removed are you now from Marywood, but yet you still remember that?
I graduated in 14 years.
But that it goes back to the people. 14 years ago. So you graduated 14 years ago, right? So it would have been 18 years ago when this happened?
Yeah, about 18 years.
So 18 years ago, and you still remember that gesture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and
it
that
was sincere. It was sincere.
And that's the thing, is it's when you have those moments and you have things like that happen to you, like you, and I love that you brought up that point, that I'm sitting here saying Marywood was all about the people almost 20 years ago, and you're talking about it now. But you brought up a great point that I wasn't even thinking of, is that you said you didn't forget the story, and that I still tell people that story. So if somebody's looking for a place and, you know, they went to the school, maybe it's not the right fit, so they're looking to transfer somewhere else, or they're in high school or prep school or whatever, it's so easy for me to say to people, hey, when I walked onto campus, they knew my name. And I can honestly tell you, sitting here today, Pat, I visited a lot of campuses. I don't remember any other story where somebody reached their hand out and knew my name, and talked to me by name the first moment that they saw me.
Yeah, and it was sincere, Dan. I mean, you know, it's a wonderful place here, and it starts with the leadership. We have probably the best president I've ever served under, and she really cares. She cares about every student athlete. I guarantee you, if any student athlete wanted to set up an appointment with our school president, she would see that person. You're not getting that at the University of Alabama or even at Syracuse University up where you're at, Just doesn't happen, but it happens here.
Yeah, and to speak on Sister Mary Persico for a few minutes here, just what your take has been like in your relationship with her. I know that when I came to the golf tournament to be a part of that, fundraising opportunity for Marywood University and the athletic department, when I got to come there, that was the first time that I got to truly spend some time with Sister Mary. And she stood next to me, and the thing that was great is she was standing with someone from the board, and she had talked to me for a few minutes, and then when one of the board members came up, she goes, hey, she introduces me to them and says, hey, this is Dan Tortora. He does a lot of work. He's one of our alum. He does a lot of work with our school, and he really helps us out and gets our name out there. She took what I told her in our conversation and then immediately introduced me to somebody like she had talked to me about this forever, respected the work that I did, and I can honestly tell you that I've never had that experience, when we've looked at, who's maybe come before Sister Mary. When Sister Mary stepped into that, I was leaving and finishing up at Marywood University. She came in after I had already been gone. So with Sister Mary being there and all these years later, me getting to talk to her and then having her turn around and say, hey, this is Dan Tortora. This is what he does. Dan, we really appreciate your work. I thank you so much for it. I'm used to presidents and chancellors shaking hands and walking away. I'm not used to somebody standing there for 20 minutes having a conversation to really get to know you. So I'd love for you to speak on your experience with her, because I really love the fact that she just, again, like Jay Hammerin, took the time.
Yeah, I can't say enough wonderful things about her. I mean, she, like I said, I've been at 5 different schools. She's the best president I've ever seen. She takes time for everyone. She has such a nice way about her. She is a great leader. Like, she has this ability, Dan, that if she was in a foxhole, you're jumping in that foxhole with her. She just has that ability. And I remember maybe a week or so when I had been here, she set up an appointment. She came to me. She didn't ask me to come to her. She came over to my office, and she said to me, she looked me in the eyes, Dan, she said, Pat, she goes, athletics is as important at this institution as anything else we do here. How many presidents say that?
Yeah.
But I think she understands, though, that athletics makes up 25 to 27% of the student body here, and that's a big number. It's a very big number, and our student athletes excel in the classroom here. They leave here and they become successful leaders out there in their chosen field, whether it's academics, industry, nursing, etc. But yeah, I mean, athletics to her and to me is a source of pride. We're proud of what we're able to accomplish here.
Coming here in our special edition of Pacer Pride with Executive Director of Athletics at Marywood University, Pat Murphy. Pat, before I let you go, we've had to navigate these past almost 2 years with a pandemic that nobody was ready for and nobody really had an answer to. And as we step forward now, we're still seeing starts and stops. You've had athletic teams inside of Marywood University have to deal with the fact of canceling a game or postponing a game. How are you navigating this from a leadership standpoint, and what do we know right now about the current state of the pandemic as far as how to move forward and how to maybe adjust to it? Because, I mean, we've had the experience, which is great, but how are you tackling what's currently going on and the start and stop that unfortunately we were hoping would never happen again?
Well, I'll say this much. A couple of years ago or last year when we limited games or didn't play games, that one was kind of easy. We just basically kind of canceled the fall season, and then we'd allow a couple games in the winter, the fall teams to play in the spring, a couple games. Believe it or not, that was almost easier, Dan, than what we're dealing with now, because we made the commitment to try to get these games in. And, the amount of testing and all of that has to go on is just it's just a yeoman's feat. It really is. I mean, I have 3 athletic trainers here, and thank God I have the dedication of those trainers through Geisinger that we have, because we have to test all unvaccinated student athletes 3 times a week. And, it's costly. It is a strain on our workers, and it's a hassle really kind of for the student athletes. But normally, Dan, the role of an athletic director is you want to hire good coaches. You want to give a student athlete the best experience possible. You want to win games. You want them to be academically successful. Well, now you have all those things. But paramount even to those things is we want to keep our student athletes and staff as healthy as possible and as safe as possible. So it's been a challenge. But, I'm not going to sit here and cry the blues, because it's been a challenge for every athletic director, every coach, every training staff, every student health worker at these institutions across the country. Like the NCAA now, and part of the difficulty in all this is it seems to change almost on a weekly basis. Now the NCAA has come out with new resocialization guidelines that came out yesterday. It's now stating that if you're, how do they word it? If you're booster eligible, you're not considered fully vaccinated without having that booster shot. So do you follow me on that?
Yeah.
So before this, if you had the 2 vaccines, I didn't have to test you. But now if you've become booster eligible, so that means you got vaccinated and it's been 6 months, but you haven't got the booster, I've got to start testing you again. So, now the good news is if a student athlete thought enough of getting vaccinated, I'm sure, or I hope, that they would go and get the booster shot. But if not, I'm looking at potentially 900 to 1,000 tests a week, which would be very difficult for us to pull off. So, we're always pivoting, we're always shifting, and that's just kind of the world we live in. But it's not just for me, it's for everyone. So, we'll get through it. We get through everything, and we'll come out stronger for this.
And what have you learned about yourself, Pat? When you look at these last couple of years and having to be in the role of, as we talked about before, steering this ship in uncharted waters, what have you learned about you?
Well, I've learned that, let's go back to the people. First of all, I have 2 senior leaders here, in Andrew Smith and Nikki Malloy. And from a leadership standpoint, Dan, I don't think I have all the answers. I've never come in and say, we're going to do it my way. There's been none of that. I always want people here to tell me why my idea is not going to work, what's wrong with it, et cetera, et cetera. So, it goes back to what I said, I like to create a great team here. Well, they're part of the team. So when we have ideas of how we're going to do things, I want to pass both of them too, and I want their input. I get the input from the janitor sometimes. I'm not so cavalier in my thought process, thinking that my way is the only way, because it's not. So the one thing that I will say with this pandemic is we've had to pivot so many times and change directions so many times, and the hard part's not easy, because the coaches, they just sometimes are like, again, and I'm like, I'm not making the rules here. I mean, we're just trying to follow it. We're trying to get through this as safely as possible. So, I guess the one thing I've learned about me, and I've always been kind of a regimented person. I wake up at the same time. I have coffee at the same time. I jump in my car at the same time. But with this, we've really had to change directions so many times on the fly. And thank God I have the staff in place that we do here with Andrew and Nikki and Jay Monahan and our coaches, that we're able to adapt pretty well. Probably better than most places. Like I'll give you an example, and this is not even a big one, but with this new variant of the COVID and the spike that we're seeing, and it's getting to be a little out of control. I didn't want to ban spectators at our basketball games, Dan. I didn't want to go down that route. I mean, we banned them a year ago, and then if I banned mom and dad this year too, that's 2 out of 4 years they're not able to see their son or daughter play basketball. So I didn't want to do that. But I also have to keep our people as safe as possible. So, and this is not even a big thing, but from now on, what we're going to do is we're going to seat the spectators all on one side, space them out on that one side, and keep the side of the court where the teams are and the table staff and the coaches are, and keep that blank to try to control the interaction as best as possible. Because I can somewhat control our student athletes and our coaches, but I can't control who's coming in off the street and what they may be bringing with them.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and you just touched on it. I mean, you want the health and safety of all the people that you feel responsible for, these student athletes and these coaches and people that are on staff and at Marywood University. At the same time, you don't want to punish mom and dad. And it's that trying to find the answer in the, I want to keep everybody safe, but I don't want to keep you away from, your kids, and at the same time, you don't want these student athletes to lose out on their experience. So, I mean, Pat, I'm sure that nobody envies the job of an athletics director in these last couple of years, especially knowing that you're trying to find a way to balance health and safety with playing, with being able to see your loved ones play, and nobody would ever thought that these three things would be in conflict.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very cognizant of the fact that a student athlete has a 4-year career. They're not on scholarship like at the Division I level, where they may opt for that free year that the NCAA allowed. So for the most part, most of our student athletes are here for 4 years. We've already cheated them basically out of one of the 4 years. Okay, cheating is not the right word. They were, unfortunately, we didn't play a full year. So 1 out of their 4 years, they didn't get to really compete. Mom and dad didn't come to the games to actually see them compete. So to do it 2 out of 4 years, Dan, is just it's a situation that I don't want to go down that road if I don't have to.
Yeah, and it makes perfect sense to do everything in your power to make sure that we do things the right way. And a final note here, Pat, as we look to do things the right way and we look to move forward and we look to find that positivity, it is a new year, it is a new beginning, it is a new chapter. So what is invigorating you about Marywood University as we continue on our winter sports seasons and we get set for the spring?
What invigorates me is, I get up in the morning and I think I have one of the best jobs in the country. Where else do you get to go to work on a college campus as beautiful as Marywood University is, and work with student athletes and work with coaches and work with senior leaders here at this university day in and day out? If I have to get to a situation where I'm not invigorated, I need to walk away. But I'm very invigorated here, and I absolutely love this place, and I love everything it stands for. And, my goal is, listen, I walked into a good situation. Dr. Mary Jo Gunning took very good care of the athletic department for 30 years. Now, I'm coming in, and I'm taking all the hard work she's done through the years, and I'm just trying to add some new things in there to make the experience even better for our student athletes. So that's the challenge. At the end of the day, Dan, the challenge is you want student athletes walking away from their institution saying, wow, that was the greatest 4 years I could have ever imagined. And that's what our goal is here, and that's what we want to do here.
That coming from Executive Director of Athletics, Pat Murphy, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora of Marywood University inside of Pacer Pride. Pat, I do this all throughout my show, all throughout the year. It's called Rapid Fire. I'm going to let you put me on the hot seat for a 2022 question. You get one question, make it good. It's our first Pacer Pride of the new year, and it has to be New Year related. So throw something at me, whatever you got.
It has to be New Year related. Okay,
Yes.
So we're in year 2022. Dan, when we get to the end of the year, give me the one thing that you want to have accomplished this year that you have never done before.
I want to have made strides in my comedic professional career, and I would like to be working on some movie of some kind at some point this year.
Wait, go back. Comedic professional career. Are you a comedian?
I have been bringing that to the show for a long time, but I do a lot of it off the air, a lot of it just with people in different places. And the question has been, why won't you just get on stage and tell your stories? And I haven't officially gone on a stage and told the story. I've done it at different events. I've done it personally. I've done it within homes around the country, but I have never put myself on the stage to do it. There's really no reason why I haven't. It's just I haven't yet. So, but I would say, Pat, that my past relationship partners should probably not watch it, I guess is what I would say.
No, that's good. That's good. Well, I'll have to catch a show of yours sometime.
Yeah, it's very it's fun. I mean, to me, I love making people laugh. I like the challenge, and I like being able to make people laugh of different backgrounds, different different wants and desires, different places, different ages, and so it's always been fun for me to do that. I think you have two choices when adversity hits your life. You can choose to be depressed, stressed, and focused on it, or you can find the comedy within it and the levity in it and find a way to rise above it by essentially turning it into just something that you can learn from and appreciate. And I find that when I take the time to kind of joke about what's happened in my life, it allows other people to come forward with their pain and to say, I'm not by myself. And so with comedy, with anything I do, the central message of all my work is to let people know they are not alone, they're cared about, there is a God that loves them, and there is a way to get forward. There is a way to move forward. So, yeah, it's a funny way to do it, but it's also my way of telling them, you're not alone, we've all been through crazy stuff, and hopefully, if for nothing else, I can help them laugh for an hour. That's what I hope for.
I think that's awesome, Dan. I think that's great, actually. Listen, that's called life. Everyone has issues. Everyone has problems to get through day to day, and some worse than others. But that's easy for someone on the outside looking in to say, "Well, your issue is not that bad," but maybe to that person it is that bad. So, I think that's wonderful what you do.
Well, that coming from Pat Murphy. Thank you, Pat. As always, I appreciate it. Executive Director of Athletics at Marywood University. Your kind words are very well received, and I thank you for them, and I send them right back to you. Thank you for navigating, especially during these tough times. Thank you for the opportunity you gave to me to give back to my university in a way that I truly am thankful to do, and I love this partnership. I love being able to continuously tell these stories.
You too, Dan.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I'll talk with you soon.
Okay, take care.
Take care.
Bye.
That coming from Pat Murphy here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life, and always thankful to have Pat here with us. So thank you to Pat, and appreciate that you appreciate what we're doing, Pat. So thank you. So with that being said, we'll take our final step aside of today's show. We'll wrap things up right after this fast break, where sports meets life on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora.
Cafe Cabal Mobile Cafe brings the cafe experience to you. We'll roll out to your neighborhood or office, ready to serve our locally crafted espresso bar to our loyal patrons. Inquire at cafecabal.com. Cafe Cabal, coffee for the soul.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating. Find them at 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and all the time online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, you can order all throughout the country at maandpaspopcorn.com. And remember to get your tins, which have in-store half-price refills forever. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, available to you for fundraising and all of your events by calling 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
Here at Progressive Dental, we understand the importance of regular dental visits and preventive care. Cleanings and checkups are essential to good oral health. We have multiple locations in the southern tier, so come visit us in Binghamton, Enwell, Kirkwood, Montrose, and Norwich. For self-pay non-insured patients, we offer the Smile Plan, which covers all of your cleanings, x-rays, and exams for an affordable yearly price. Call 607-754-2273 or 607-754-CARE to make an appointment today. For more information, visit our website at progressivedentalny.com.
The Millhouse Market, located on 3790 New York 13 in Pulaski, New York, is worth the drive every time. Make your way out to the Millhouse Market every single week to see everything that they bring to the table, Tuesday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Sundays from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. The Millhouse Market there for you with their general store, their indoor dining, and their drive-through pickup window. You can grab your food and go in the drive-through, contactless pay on the app, which you can get by going to the Apple app or Google Play Store. You download the app, grab your food and go, or you can dine in their restaurant inside. And of course, it's like being inside of a cozy little cabin. It's really awesome and beautiful. The woodwork in there is just absolutely incredible. And so when you head in for indoor dining, make sure to remember that every weekend there's a new bistro menu. So the menu that you got this weekend is going to change next weekend. So you definitely have to come back to the Millhouse Market to get something new every single week. And their general store that you have to walk through in order to get into their indoor dining, you will see local products from local companies as Millhouse Market pays it forward, working with others in the community to make sure that all of us rise together. Millhouse Market, 3790 New York 13 in Pulaski, New York. Worth the drive every time. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life, I want to thank you for being a part of today's broadcast, and I want to thank you for being here with us and truly appreciate just you clicking on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and finding us either on Facebook, MixLR, YouTube, any one of these avenues live, youtube.com, facebook.com, mixlr.com, all / Wake Up Call DT. So / Wake Up Call DT for YouTube, Facebook, and MixLR. You'll find us there on wakeupcalldt.com every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, where sports meets that thing called life. And once the shows go live, they jump into our archives, including the Josh Black conversation that you heard on yesterday's live show, Stitcher, Spotify, MixLR, YouTube, iTunes and Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Tune in and more. I may have said tune in, but I'll say tune in again because you should tune in to Wake Up Call all the time. And you can get us 24/7, 365 on any one of these avenues by searching Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. Big thanks to our Central and Upstate New York partners, Cafe Kubal, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, as well as Mon Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, Progressive Dental, Avicoli's, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, the Millhouse Market, Lemoyne Dolphins, Pizza Man, Honda City of Liverpool, PB&J's Lunchbox, Victory Sports Medicine, and Orthopedics, and Mother's Cupboard. Make sure that you find your way to all of these wonderful partners in our community today, and I thank them so much for all they do in our community, and truly, truly appreciate them. So thank you for all that you do here in Central and Upstate New York. And a special thanks to our proud multimedia marketing partner, the Lemoyne College Dolphins. You know that it's fins up all day, day when it comes to Lemoyne. The Lemoyne Dolphins here with us every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time for Dolphin Time. Set it, keep it, hold on to it, and love it forever. You'll find the Dolphins every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Every first and third Wednesday brings you AD and DT new episodes with Athletics Director Bob Beretta of Lemoyne and myself, Dan Tortora, a.k.a. DT. And every second and fourth Wednesday, we'll have the Dolphin Dive with stories from student athletes, coaches, and staff members on why Lemoyne was the place for them and their incredible stories. We've had so much fun. We've gotten to know so many personalities and really brought Lemoyne to life in our Dolphin Dive and AD and DT pieces, as well as other specials we do throughout each month. So make sure you check us out on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. You'll get the entire archive by subscribing to my channel. You'll also get the entire archive by going to the Lemoyne tab on wakeupcalldt.com. And of course, you can find Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on LemoyneDolphins.com. You'll find our logo at the bottom of their website. And of course, you'll find out more information on Lemoyne at LemoyneDolphins.com, including their composite schedule, which is on their site and my site, wakeupcalldt.com, so you'll never miss a game again. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is also the multimedia marketing partner of your Marywood Pacers. It's Pacer Pride here with us, folks, including today with Executive Director of Athletics, Pat Murphy. We feature not only Pat at the top of the athletic department, but we also feature coaches and student athletes all throughout each month on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Pacer Pride is with us on Fridays, including on today being the first one of 2022. You can see our archive of our incredible stories with coaches, student athletes, and Executive Director of Athletics, Pat Murphy, by hanging out with us on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt to get all of our information on the Marywood University Pacers through the words of their Executive Director of Athletics, their coaches, and their student athletes. So make sure you check them out there by subscribing to our YouTube channel. And of course, you can go to the Marywood tab on wakeupcalldt.com to hear and watch all of our past shows with Marywood University. And of course, Pacer Pride here on Fridays is live during Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora to round out the week. So don't ever miss an episode again by tuning in live. And of course, go to the archives to get more. And you can find out more information on Marywood by going to marywoodpacers.com. Big shout out and a lot of Pacer Pride coming here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So with that being said, I want to thank Carvel for the annoying moment of the week. I want to thank Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay for lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. And of course, my partner Juanita Ward for that, talking about a very crucial topic, controlling the controllables. And I want to thank Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Camp Dog Boarding of East Syracuse, the place to bring your dog for short and long-term care. I want to thank them so much for the top dog of the week. And of course, I want to thank all of our healthcare workers who are the top dogs of this week and frankly, every week. And a big thanks to our first Pacer Pride guest of 2022, Mr. Pat Murphy, Executive Director of Athletics at Marywood University, bringing us Pacer Pride. So with that being said, on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, I hope you have a fantastic, fantastic weekend. and find us on Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, the Twitters at Call DT, Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT, and on wakeupcalldt.com. God bless, no stress, do your best. And remember, being who you are is enough.